Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Wadsall. It's the start of a brand new season in the Kingston Press Championship. And what a match to start, folks. Bradford Bulls against your very own Featherstone Rovers. Quick rundown of the team news for you. First of all, starting with the Bulls. At number 34 is Richie Mathers. In the three quarters, number 22 is James Clare. Number 3 is Adam Purtell. Number 4 is Chris Wellham. And number 2 is Amari Caro. In the halfbacks, number 6 Lee Gaskell and number 13 is Danny Addy. In the front row, number 25 Ben Kavanagh alongside number 10 Adam Sidlow. In between those two is number 9 Adam O'Brien. In the second row is number 11 Tom Orbison. Number 28 is Kurt Haggerty. And the loose forward is number 14 Jay Pitts. On the bench for the Bulls is number 15 Matty Blythe. 27 Johnny Walker, number 12 Dale Ferguson, and number 21 Epelaim Luaki. Rovers utilising the dual reg with leads that they have this season. They brought 3 players into the squad, match day squad for today. Fullback though, keeping his place after an outstanding pre-season. Wearing number 1 today is Danny Craven. In the three quarters, the only starter from the dual reg 3, and that's number 33 Ash Handley. In the rest of the three quarters, number 3 Michael Channing, number 4 Missy Talapapa, and number 5 Scott Turner. In the halfbacks, the partnership that did so well against the Rhinos last week, number 6 is Kyle Briggs alongside number 7 Anthony Thackeray. Interesting selections in the front row. Darryl Griffin partnering Andy Bostock, who starts today. And in between those two, a hooker today is number 12, is John Davies. In the second row for Rovers, number 18 is Jamie Cording, and number 13 is Tim Spears. And at loose forward today, been outstanding at prop in pre-season, especially last week against the Rhinos, is Jack Ormondroyd. On the bench for Rovers, number 15 is Ian Hartman, number 21 is Bradley Tagg, and then we've got 2 from the Rhinos. Making his Rovers return after the outstanding Championship Young Player of the Year last year is number 32 Jordan Baldwinson, and number 34 is Mitch A. Church. Today's match referee is George Stokes. Joe, good afternoon, first of all.
Good afternoon, Ben.
What a match to start the season off. Bradford against Featherstone Rovers.
Certainly is a toughie, isn't it, this afternoon? It's going to be a real challenge for Featherstone Rovers to be in this game here at Odsall today. You know, you couldn't ask for a tougher start, really. But I'm sure that John Sharp will have got the team mentally prepared. There's been a bit of an enforced change, hasn't there, with the injury to Wildy last week, unfortunately, which means that John Davies gets an opportunity at hooker. But having said that, when he went into the hooking position after Wildy went off against Leeds, he did pretty good there, didn't he? And I'm sure that he won't let us down today. And that's given an opportunity, as you say, for Jack Ormondroyd to start at loose forward. And he's a strong runner, isn't he? So it'll be good to see him going in. And then obviously there's the contentious dual reg selections that some people love. They're a bit like Marmite. Some people love them, some people hate them, some people say, you know, that's what we've got to go with. So we've got Ash Handley, Mitch H. and we see him as our very own Jordan Baldwinson, really, don't we? He's not a Leeds player, is he?
Not at all. So, you know, a strong lineup for Rovers, probably the strongest lineup they could have brought, utilising the dual registration, of course. But looking down that Bradford team, especially in the halves as well, Lee Gaskell and Danny Addy, Rovers have to be careful with monitor those two. But when you've got Anthony Thackeray and Kyle Briggs playing as well as they played last week, I think the victors today could be the victors in the halves.
I certainly think so. I think it's going to be, they are pivotal positions, aren't they? It's going to be important to see which half-back pairing gets on top, and ours is a relatively new half-back pairing, isn't it? And I think that it will only get stronger as the season goes on, but I just hope that the fire straight away today, de Briggs and Thackeray together.
And then obviously we mentioned in the 3 quarters, Ash Handley gets his start for the Rovers on the wing. He was superb last week for the Rhinos against Rovers from fullback. Not selected in the lineup for the Rhinos on Thursday. So he comes into that side today. And we saw glimpses last week at the Big Fella Stadium against the Rovers of what Ash Handley can do.
Yeah, he's a strong winger, isn't he, Ash Handley? And yeah, they got a run out against us last week. Did that? Well, 2 of those 3 players, didn't they? And be interested to see how dual reg goes this season, and you know, whether there is a lot of chopping and changing with it, or we'll have a bit of stability. And another player that I should mention that we are missing is Colton Roach through suspension as well. And I felt that he was quite impressive in pre-season. It's just a shame that the little fracas at Hunslet has meant that he's been suspended.
Indeed, and Rovers pretty much at full strength, as full strength can be at the moment. It's that pitch, Joe, as well, looks in superb condition. Where do you think to the pitch we saw Wigan on Friday night? This pitch, it looks superb.
Yeah, I guess they haven't had a season of football on it though, have they? So yeah, I think Wigan were suffering from that a little bit, but for the position that Odsall's in, it's looking in pretty good nick. A bit down to our left-hand side, looks as though it might cut up a bit, but otherwise looking pretty good. And Featherstone Rovers are out on the pitch, and we're in our natty pink away kit, aren't we?
Certainly need your sunglasses for that one, don't you? But just, you mentioned it briefly before the game, before we started the transmission, Joe, about the Bradford pitch raising up in the corners. The kicking game, especially if Rovers can utilise the kicks in the corners, which they did so well last year with Jai Hitchcocks, we're in with a great chance of winning this game.
We will, yeah, and I'd imagine the coach will have done that, and it looks like Rovers are going to kick off.
It is Danny Craven with the kick-off. It's a high one. It's taken by the Bulls, and here comes that first drive, but that Rovers chase is good. Meeting the Bulls on their own 10-metre line. Kyle Briggs leading the way. A former Bull, of course, is Kyle Briggs. So be interesting to see.
Been around a bit as Kyle.
Certainly the experience that Rovers need. And the Bulls spread the ball out wide early on that second tackle. Just over 10 metres in from touch now. Through the hands it goes. Rovers need to do a job on Danny Addy and Lee Gaskell today. If they can marshal those 2 today, they've got a great chance of winning this game. But the Bulls in the forwards at the minute. Up to their own 40. That's a good set for Rovers, Joe.
It is.
The Bulls only on their own 40, and it's the last tackle. So the kick over the top is good. It turns Rovers round. And it's picked up by Ash Handley over on that far side.
Looks a bit of a slippy surface out there, Ben. He had a bit of a slip there, did Ash, didn't he?
He did indeed, and here's Danny Craven now. The Bulls line looks good though, moving up well. And Rovers now looking to bring it out to their own 20. A good first set for the Bulls and a good kick. Let's see what Rovers can do. They're still penned in their own 20. Here goes Andy Bostock. Dumped to the ground though by good Bradford defence.
Do you think it's interesting, Ben, that John Sharp's gone for Bostock starting rather than Baldwinson starting from?
It is an interesting decision, certainly. I mean, Andy Bostock, of course, we know the impacts and the damage he does off the bench in particular. A long kick from Kyle Briggs, just too long there. So that'll be a tap restart on the 20. But Rovers, like you mentioned, Andy Bostock certainly is an impact player off the bench. And Baldwinson, we know the damage he did starting last year for Rovers. So an interesting choice indeed. We'll see how that pans out throughout the course of today. Here is that first drive, and the Bulls make 10 metres. Here at Bradford now. This is a better set for the Bulls within 2 tackles. And they're 5 metres short of halfway already. Rovers need to watch this line speed. And the Bulls are now on halfway. Ball's worked out towards this right-hand side through the hands of Danny Addy, but that's good defence. Addy again moves that ball out wide to Chris Wellham. A signing from
He's lost the ball. He's lost the ball as Wellham. It was great tackling there from Cordin and Turner there to make him lose the ball, and Rovers have come away with it.
That's a big signing for the Bulls, is Chris Wellham. And now Rovers win a penalty for interference at the tackle, not clearing the ball. So Rovers are going to get the first penalty of the game and a chance to get some field position. Danny Craven with ball in hand. He gets Rovers over halfway, and in fact just shy of the 30. So Rovers are going to have 6 tackles more or less in the Bulls 30 here, and a great chance to pose some pressure, Joe.
It was, yeah. Like I say, it came from that great defensive effort from Jamie Cordin and Scott Turner. They sort of sandwiched Chris Wellham, and the ball came out. So, yeah, we're about on the 30-metre line and attacking.
Davies to Briggs, out to Thackeray. That moves out further to Channing, comes back inside. Finds Bostock, who offloads to Briggs. Briggs steps inside one. Superb hands from Rovers there.
Lovely play there, wasn't it, from Channing, Bostock and Briggs.
Davies, Craven, on the inside it goes. Rovers on the 10 now. Davies finds Briggs again. Briggs, no runners there for him, so he takes that tackle. Rovers 8 metres away, just about 15 metres in from touch. Here's Darryl Griffin. He's been a big player in pre-season as well for Rovers, Joe.
Yeah, he's old Eddie's Darryl Griffin, isn't he? Steadies the pack down a little bit.
Briggs dabs the kick through. That's well taken though on this near side by the Bulls. It's Omar Caro on this side. He did well to take that kick, but Rovers, if they can pen the Bulls back, they've got a great chance to build again. But the Bulls, Joe, making yards forward with every drive that they're taking at the moment.
Yeah, and it was a nice little kick there from Briggs on the end, wasn't it? But Caro did well. He got his body down low because in these muddy, wet conditions, the ball can skid along the surface, so he did well there.
Here are the Bulls then. An inside offload. And they're now shy of the 40. That's the last tackle, says the referees. So Rovers have penned the Bulls inside their own 40 here. There's a kick, it's charged down.
We've got
and Rovers have come up with it. That's great play from Rovers.
I think it was Tim Spears there, wasn't it?
Tim Spears indeed, and Andy Bostock on the charge now.
Fantastic charge down by Tim Spears, that to put his body on the line and just get on top of that ball, and we're in a good position again here.
Indeed we are. Rovers then just shy of the 20, plenty tackles in the bag. John Davies moves that ball inside to Griffin. Griffin moves it on to Thackeray. Thackeray moves it on again. Rovers through the hands it goes. Davies goes right. Thackeray again. Cut outside.
Yes!
It's Danny Craven. It's Danny Craven over for the first try for Rovers. Anthony Thackeray it was.
You do not have permission to use my voice. What happened about
Kyle Briggs has kicked the conversion for Rovers, so it's a 6-0 lead. A great conversion from the touchline. So Rovers hold a 6-0 lead. There's the kickoff from the Bulls. Taken by Thackeray. And Rovers now returning that ball in. Rovers are on the break again. Davies, Craven, offloads that inside to Darryl Griffin. A great start for Rovers. Joe Briggs kicking the goal. And Rovers on the charge again and looking good at the minute.
Certainly are. Sorry for that interlude.
And Rovers just outside the 20. Griffin moves that ball onto Briggs. Briggs into Cordy. That's a good hit from the Bulls. And Rovers on the 20, Joe. Still got tackles in hand now. Ormondroyd. Davies now. Finds Thackeray again. Thackeray on the inside.
Lovely. That was good defence as well.
Sublime play. Bostock involved as well.
Good play by both sides there.
Credit the defence, they saw that and they shut it down really well. There's a kick and Amari Caro is forced into touch. There's a penalty against. It's fair play to the referee. The tackle was complete.
Yeah.
And Rovers dragged Amari Caro into touch. So
I think it was too tempting there, wasn't it? Caro had done well. He'd taken the ball. He'd gone to ground and the Rovers players just couldn't avoid taking him into touch.
But the penalty being so tight to the touchline, the ball's not able to make a lot of yards. And here's Chris Wellham. He's going to be a massive player for the Bulls this year, as Chris Wellham. Signed, of course, from Hull KR. And the Bulls on the charge now. And a penalty given to the Bulls for an arm raised in the tackle. So the Bulls with a chance to make some better yardage than the last penalty.
Yeah, back-to-back penalties. George Stokes is taking them up the field here, isn't he? And that penalty was for holding down. So yeah, Bulls are in an advantageous position here on the Rovers 40.
O'Brien takes that tap and moves the ball infield to Tom Albison. The Bulls on the charge here with Jade Pitts. 25 metres out centre field. Through the hands it goes. Into the 20 come the Bradford Bulls.
That's good defence, that.
Poor from Gaskell there, offloading to a player who had already had John Davis a metre in front of him.
Had a blue light on it, didn't it, that hospital pass?
That's a good drive from Adam Sidlow, and the Bulls are 3 metres short. On the last tackle, Gaskell steps inside one. That is fantastic play from Lee Gaskell. On the last tackle, took the pass from O'Brien. Able to dance inside 2 or 3 Rovers players and gets the ball down just to the left of the uprights. The Bulls hit back, Joe. Bradford Bulls 4, Featherstone Rovers 6.
Yeah, it's your typical penalty try, isn't it, that? So from Rovers attacking on the Bradford line, they got a penalty from Caro being dragged into touch. 2 tackles later, they got a penalty for holding down, took them right up the field, and our defence on the line were looking okay, but then Lee Gaskell just did a bit of magic there, didn't he, and sidestepped through to score just to the left of the uprights.
So I fancy this will be converted, so we're going to be levelled up here, and we've got 12 minutes on the clock. It's Bradford 4, Featherstone 6. There's a player leaving for the Bulls. This looks like a massive blow so early on. I can't see who it is, but there's a player being helped off the pitch. It's Richie Mathers, I think.
Leaving the field from number 29, Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker's coming on. The try is converted. So we're all level, Joe. It's just over 12 minutes on the clock. It's Bradford Bulls 6, Featherstone Rovers 6. And it's every bit the game we expected it to be.
Certainly is, yeah. It's all square, isn't it, on the scoreboard there? And see what mental strength Featherstone have now to come back from this, what resilience they've got. That's a decent kick.
That's a great kick-off from Featherstone. That's a big call from Mr. Stokes. That ball looked to go back to me, to be fair.
I think he's... has he changed his mind? I don't know.
That ball...
No, he's definitely giving a drop out there.
That ball did look to go backwards to me.
It did. It was a great kick-off, though. Full credit to the... Was it a Danny Craven kick-off?
It was indeed.
Zachary did well to field that.
Bostock with that first drive. Up off the knee into the face of Thackeray, and he offloaded to Bostock. Here's Darryl Griffin now. Rovers on the charge. John Davies. Davies again offloads inside to Ormondroyd. That's one player who does deserve his starting place today, is Jack Ormondroyd. He's been outstanding pre-season, John.
Great young talent, isn't he? He's a good one to watch for the future.
Briggs moves that ball into Talapapa. Talapapa plays the ball to Jamie Cording. Cording takes on the line himself, but that's good defence from the Bulls. On the last tackle, he's held up, says the referee. So he's going to go back 10 metres.
That's not bad for a kick on the last, actually, going back 10 metres.
Not at all. So Kyle Briggs has room, he'll dab one through.
Oh, unlucky.
That's good defence there from Richie Mathers.
Penalty as well.
And a penalty. But great defence from Richie Mathers there to take that ball. And then Rovers just too late in that challenge. Offside at the play of the ball. So another relieving penalty for the Bulls. Rovers need to be careful with the discipline, Joe. The Bradford Bulls scored their try on the back of two quick penalties. Rovers need to watch this, otherwise the Bulls could get a roll on.
Certainly could, yeah. We just need to make sure we're tight with the discipline, don't we? And we've had a good start, and we need to make sure that we do. A great offload by Bradford there. Indeed,
and another offload there by Gaskell. Rovers scramble in defence, manages eventually to stop the Bulls just short of halfway. And the Bradford Bulls are now over halfway. Another offload to O'Brien. O'Brien swings it outright to Wellham. Wellham looked to offload but then held on.
And I'm afraid that's another penalty.
Again for dragging into touch. Rovers need to be careful, Joe. The tackle then was complete. That's the second time in this opening 15 minutes or so the Rovers have been penalised for dragging into touch.
Well, Tim Spears is just having a word with George Stokes there, because I'm not sure how clear that call for held was, and they feel as though they're a bit hard done to their Featherstone Rovers.
O'Brien takes that tap, and there's a good drive in by Johnny Walker. O'Brien again. Adam Sidlow, the Bulls just inside the Rovers 20. More or less centre field. O'Brien, Addy, through the hands it goes. Gaskell, that's good play from the Bulls. Moving the ball on the line, but Rovers scrambling defence gets
Need
there.
to get out to the left though.
Gaskell showed a dummy, but that's great line defence from Rovers on that occasion.
Oh yes, that's an interception by Bostock.
Andy Bostock with the intercept. That's one of those situations where you want it to be one of your speedsters. But of all the people it had to be was Andy Bostock, but a try-saving interception, I fancy, Joe.
Still important was that, yeah. He did really well, read the play well, did Andy Bostock. I thought that Bradford might have gone out on the left-hand side there because they had a man over, but they chose to come back inside.
An early kick from Danny Craven. That's an interesting call. But that's good chase from Rovers. How is the chase? Slow chase from Rovers, to be fair, Joe. And the Bulls able to get up to their own 30.
That's good defence, though.
But good defence.
just need to be careful, get off the Bradford players clean, because George Stokes is penalising quite a bit for holding down, isn't he, this afternoon?
O'Brien moves that ball out to that left-hand edge, and the Bulls are now on halfway. Through the hands it comes to the Bulls. It's towards this right-hand edge. That's good play. That's great play from Adam Sidlow. Offloads as well. But good scrambling defence again from Rovers.
It was scrambling defence.
That's going to be a penalty.
Oh.
In all fairness, yes, it was. It was Ash Handley who had completed the tackle. He tried to... Obviously, he couldn't interfere with the play of the ball, but Adam O'Brien not able to pick the pass up because of Ash Handley's presence. And therefore, it's going to be another 6 for the Bulls in the Rovers 10. And the pressure's building, Joe.
Really under the cosh at the moment of the Featherstone defence out then. It was scrambling defence before when Sidlow went through. Darryl Griffin looks like he was treading in treacle a little bit, trying to follow him, and it just took a last-ditch tackle to save that. And yeah, they're pressing on our line now.
Oh, that's a shocking pass. Somehow the Bulls... The referee's wiped it. Rovers got a hand in on that. Some poor passing from Bradford.
Yeah.
They're lucky to come out of that one.
Rubber the green's not going with Featherstone there, is it? Because it was shocking from Bradford, was that? And
an early kick, and the Bulls are over. It's Amari Caro. Great play from the Bradford Bulls, Joe. An early kick it was, and Amari Caro, quickest to the ball and able to get a hand on the ball. And it's discipline again from Rovers that's costing us though, Joe. It's Bradford Bulls 10, Featherstone Rovers 6.
Yeah, it was, I mean, it wasn't great play from Bradford, in all honesty, was it, leading up to that try? But, you know, the ball came out wide. They went for an early kick. They used that corner, the infamous sloping corners there at Odsall. It held up nicely, and the touchdown in the corner did Caro. And Featherstone Rovers in this last 10 minutes of, well, since our try really, have been under immense pressure, haven't we? And our defence is just leaking a little bit, and I think it's I think it's about 5 penalties to 1 at the moment in Bradford's favour. So we're struggling with that at the moment.
The penalties, the discipline is what's costing Rovers at the moment. Conceding the penalties the way they are, giving Bradford the field position, and then once they're in the field position, the extra set's on the Rovers line. It's going to be Danny Addy with this conversion attempt. It is the wrong side for the left-footed kicker. It's just short of 10 metres in from touch on the 20-metre line. Danny Addy's conversion is pulled to the left, so not the best from Danny Addy. The Bulls hold a 4-point lead by 10 points to 6, and we've just had it confirmed the Bradford player that went off a few minutes ago, Joe, was Ben Kavanagh, and he's gone down the tunnel in crutches, so that's not good news for the Bulls. He was a big player for them.
I know, it's not good to see any player get injured, is it? And let's hope it's not too bad for him, and that he'll be back quite soon.
Danny Craven with the kick-off then. Another high one towards the same place. Taken cleanly on that occasion. And the Bulls now in the ascendancy. What can Rovers do? We just need to get some possession, Joe. Get some field position and try and build again, because at the minute, Bradford are on top in almost every area.
Yeah, it looks, just see Jordan Baldwinson warming up down there on the touchline. It looks like that he might be making an entry onto the pitch. So I was just about to say, we need to keep the discipline, shore up our defence a little bit. But to be honest, I don't think the defence has been an issue. I think it's been more giving silly penalties away.
I think you're probably right. So Rovers we are going to see the introduction of Jordan Baldwinson very shortly indeed. Of course, last year's Championship Young Player of the Year down at Featherstone. He's getting another shout today. So he's ready to come on. He'll want to lift this Rovers team. That over the top of Turner. Scott Turner there. That's another great kick from the Bulls, pinning the Rovers back. And here's the change. It's Andy Bostock who's on It's Jordan Baldwinson who's on, Joe, and we've got 18.5 minutes left of the first half.
Yeah, it's a decent kick, a sensible kick into it, and Featherstone are having to bring away from this scrum from their own 20-metre line and take it back up the pitch, and we'll have to see how we go with that. And like we've just said, Jordan Baldwinson's come on, fresh young pair of legs. Hopefully he'll be able to drive us up the field a little bit.
Here's Talapapa on that first drive. Oh, that's a howler. An absolute howler from John Sharp.
John
Davis, sorry.
John Sharp won't be happy with that howler, no. I don't think.
But John Davis it was. That's poor play from Davis. Not able to take the ball. Luke's fumbling it on his own 20-metre line. And Rovers, when they really, really needed Joe, just to settle things down and build some more field position, are going to have more defending to do here. Yeah,
it's a coach killer, is that? That's the last thing that we needed to do. We needed a clean set of 6 with a good kick up the field to get, and fair play to Bradford. That's the reason why they put that kick in, to put us under that pressure, and it's worked for them.
Wellham plays the ball to Richie Mathers of all people. Here's a drive in from Jay Pitts now. Good defence from Rovers.
That's great defence, is that? That's great defence. It's after a penalty, but that was great defence. Jamie Cording was
tries
in
to go through a gap and offloads. Picked up by Jack Ormondroyd. It's going to be a penalty for Rovers.
That was a trip on Kyle Briggs. That should be more than a penalty.
It was actually Jack Ormondroyd.
Sorry, Jack Ormondroyd. That's quite impressive to trip him. He's got long legs, hasn't he? Most definitely was a trip there, though, and whoever it was, I couldn't quite see as being let off lightly, I do believe.
A relieving penalty this for Rovers, Joe. How much Featherstone Rovers need this at the moment. Danny Craven gets Rovers now just outside their own 40, and Rovers now can try. We just need a clean set now. Here's Jordan Baldwinson. A clean set for Rovers. Gets some field position at least, maybe force a repeat. And Rovers now inside the Bulls half. Ormondroyd plays the ball. Here's Thackeray now. Offloads to Darryl Griffin. Davies now. Thackeray. Offloads there. Here are Rovers then, about 25 metres out, just to the right of the uprights. It's the last tackle. Davies puts a kick over the top for the corner.
It's just gone dead, unfortunately.
Just the wrong side of the flag, so it's going to be a restart on the 20. But a better set for Rovers, Joe. Get the position, they've completed the set. And yes, granted, the kick was the wrong side of the flag, but that Rovers can take something from that.
They certainly can, yeah. I mean, Bradford defence was good there, wasn't it? And it seems a long time since we've had the ball up in that bit of the half, and we did okay. It would have been good for us to have got the ball back, though, but it's a knock-on by Bradford.
Oh, that's a big call from the referee. The ball lost in the tackle there from the Bulls. The Bulls not happy, but Rovers now with another chance in the Bulls half, Joe, to build some more pressure. And we're starting off in a better area. We're starting off inside the 40. So a chance now to build something, maybe get some points.
It will, yeah. And, it's a decent position to have a scrum, isn't it? Couldn't quite see what happened with the ball coming out there. There's quite a melee of players around it, but the referee was quite convinced it was a knock-on.
Davis to Thackeray then. 14 minutes left in the first half here at Odsall. Featherstone Rovers trailing by 10 points.
That's a penalty to Rovers.
There's a penalty to Rovers.
Three Bradford players around him there. I think it was Missy Talapapa, and they've ripped the ball out. So Rovers take the quick tap.
Here's Tim Spears, and Rovers are up to the Bulls 20 here. Davis now. Through the hands it goes. Briggs finds Jack Ormondroyd again. Ormondroyd nice offloads. Cording. Rovers 5 metres away here. Danny Craven attacked in half back. He'll find Briggs. Briggs shows it once and then finds Darryl Griffin. Rovers 10 metres out, 5 metres out, centre field, options left and right. Davis looks left. It goes right. Good defence from the Bulls though, Joe. Here's Michael Channing. Here's the last tackle. Oh, that's a Thackeray. Still able to get the kick over the top. Rovers, because of the poor pass from the plate, the Acton half. Oh!
They've lost the ball though. They've lost the ball on Bradford, and Featherstone have got it on the Bradford 10-metre line now. Come on, Featherstone.
Oh, not so sure there wasn't two in the tackle then, Joe, to be fair.
Well, the referee didn't see anything. They've stopped the clock now because there is a Featherstone player down, injured, in the middle of the...
That was a big call from Mr. Stokes, because I'm not so sure there wasn't two in that tackle, to be fair.
Well, you win some, you lose some in this game, don't you?
Rovers are going to have 5 tackles, with the starting off 5 metres away from the Bradford line with 5 tackles in hand.
Yeah.
As Matty Blythe comes on for the Bulls and Jay Pitts goes off.
I think it was Danny Craven, wasn't it, down there injured, and he was injured, getting some attention for a while, but he's back on his feet now and Rovers can restart the play.
So here are Rovers then, hammering out that Bradford Bulls door. Davies waits.
That was a great flat pass, that wasn't it, to Baldwinson, but Bradford defence held up well.
2 metres short, Jordan Baldwinson. On the bounce to Briggs. Briggs takes on the line, offloads to Cordy. Bradford needs to be careful with these offloads. Rovers are getting a fair few offloads away at the minute. Here's Briggs again with another kick through. What's the call here?
Back to one.
No, the referee says that's a turnover.
I thought that Bradford touched that. I thought it'd have been back to one, but...
It's a turnover.
Obviously not.
Credit the Bradford Bulls defence there though, Joe. Rovers hammering at the line. Defence did well to hold out.
They did do good, yeah. It's not a bad place to turn over though, that. We need a good clean set of 6, don't we?
No penalties.
Keep them down there, no penalties.
We can force them to kick from deep and then we can build from a good position. Here is Matty Blythe.
Bradford fans in front of us thought he lifted his legs above the horizontal there, but pulled.
I think they went horizontal, but I'm not sure they went above.
No, they didn't.
The Bulls then working out towards that left-hand edge. Still hold a 10-6 lead, and we've got 11 minutes left here in the first half. O'Brien moves that ball inside. That's a great offload. Blythe offloads again. Oh! What the referees? What a crazy period of play.
It was a crazy period of play. Some absolutely sublime passing there from Bradford, wasn't it? Some superb passing, and Missy Talapapa almost intercepted, couldn't quite, and then he got sort of clotheslined, I think, and
the referee deemed it wasn't a penalty. I'm not so sure myself. And
no,
the ball's offloading at the will at the minute though, Joe. That's a great run. And the hold down 3 metres short.
I think we're in last-ditch tackle territory at the moment, aren't we?
There's a kick over the top from Gaskell. That is...
He's in touch! He's not scored! He's made a mistake! Oh, he has.
Oh, he's given it. I thought for a minute.
I thought he made a horrendous mistake then.
The Bulls man in front of me, Joe, just looked at me and breathed a huge sigh of relief.
It went very quiet around us, didn't it?
I thought for a brief minute he'd got into touch in goal before he put the ball down. Mr. Stokes said no. It's Amari Caro's second try of the day. It was mightily close to that dead ball line though, and the Bulls turning the screw. And with 9 minutes left in the first half, it's Bradford Bulls 14, Featherstone Rovers 6.
Yeah, they're utilising Amari Caro out there on the right-hand side out there quite effectively, and that's something John Sharp will need to perhaps have a look at half-time just to see what's happening down that side of our defence. And we're doing a double substitution at the moment by the looks of things.
Darryl Griffin
Church and is that Brad Tagg that's coming on?
Brad Tagg and Mitch Church coming on, and Darryl Griffin and Jack Ormondroyd are going off. Last time Danny Addy had a kick from here, he pulled it to the left of the uprights. He'll be hoping he can get this one between the uprights instead.
We won't be. But when Bradford get into our sort of last 20, they're looking dangerous out there. And
that kick is successful. So the Bulls hold a 10-point lead. It's Bradford Bulls 16, Featherstone Rovers 6, and with 8.5 minutes left on the clock, Joe.
Yep. I think we need to score next, don't we, really, to stay in this game, in all honesty, Ben. And we've really had to sort of like weather quite a big Bradford storm, haven't we? And speaking of which, the rain's just starting to come down here at Odsall.
Oh, almost another great kick-off there, but the Bulls able to field it on that occasion. So Rovers have made a change. Mitch Church has come on, and as has Bradley Tagg. Mitch Church, of course, on dual registration. And the rain has started here at Odsall. Here's Matty Blythe. Kick from deep from the Bulls. Craven able to field that one with no trouble. Takes on that line, but Chris Wellham looks strong in defence there. Tyler Papawait's attacked in half-back. Finds Scott Turner. Davies. Church with that drive. Here's Baldwinson, gets Rovers up to halfway, and in fact over halfway.
Nice little step from Baldwinson there, wasn't it?
Here's Bradley Tagg. Rovers are into the Bulls 40, we're on the last tackle. So Davies. Oh, that's poor. A poor pass again from Davies to Briggs.
Yeah, it's whether you wonder whether this hooking rule is suited to Davies. He's made a couple of those. Whether he's getting tired towards the end of this half, it's hard work, isn't it? At dummy half, and we're just seen a few slack tackles, and really those unenforced errors we can be doing without.
The Bulls are making a change any moment. They're going to see the withdrawal of Adam Sidlow. I thought we were. He's stayed on the pitch for now. We're going to see Epelame Luaki in a minute. We all know the damage he can do, Joe.
Yeah, he's a tough player, isn't he, Luaki?
Here's Matty Blythe. Here is that change now. So Sidlow comes off, and on comes Luaki. There's the kick through. Here's Danny Craven now. Oh, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure that wasn't forward, but what a cruncher of a tackle.
I think it was. I'm not sure that Scott Turner will like that. That it was one tackle, one pass too much there. I think Danny Craven should have taken that up himself.
One thing I'll say for the Bulls in this first half, they've done a very good job of penning Rovers back.
That's a great run by Church, but he's forced a pass which he shouldn't have really done. It was a great run by Church. He was expecting somebody there to take the ball from him, but it went to ground.
And here goes Luaki now.
Yeah, just going back to that Church offload, at this stage of the game when we're 14-6 down, going into half-time, we didn't want to be putting the Bulls in this position, really, did we?
Not at all, and so Brian moves that ball inside. Dale Ferguson is on for the Bulls. Here goes Blythe. And the ball's 5 metres away again, Joe, centre field. It's the last tackle again. And Lee Gaskell will no doubt be involved. He's caused a lot of problems in these last plays. In fact, they've gone the other way. And the ball is put to ground. And I fancy, Joe, with the damage Lee Gaskell's done with his kicking in his first half, I fancy that may have been the wrong option for the Bulls.
Well, probably just mixing it up a bit, are they? But yeah, it didn't work for them that time, so...
So Rovers then looking to try and work out again from their own 20 where they spent a lot of time in this first half. That's a good drive upfield though by Turner. Gets Rovers up to the 30. Here's Talapapa.
Yeah, the backs are driving it in at the moment, giving the forwards a rest out. The Turner pumping his legs there, and now Talapapa just taking it up. That's good play.
Craven from acting half-back finds A-Church. Craven again. That's good play from Briggs. Superb play from Featherstone Rovers.
That was beautiful play, that, wasn't it? Jamie Cordin wrapped up in the end.
There's a chip over the top from Thackeray. Is it going to hold up?
Oh, what a try!
Nice, superb play. A chip over the top from Anthony Thackeray. And the Bradford Bulls all just stood and watched it, Joe.
I think they thought it were going dead, to be honest. It was floating through the air, but absolutely amazing. And a delightful little chip over the top by Anthony Thackeray. Followed it up himself and touched down while everybody just stood watching him. It was great.
Clever play, to be fair. The way the Bradford Bulls stood and watched, I thought that I had too much on it. Because the way the Bulls stood and watched, they must have thought it was going dead. But the ball held up superbly, and Thackeray able just to take the ball and put it down, and Rovers are back in this match.
And with 3 minutes to half time, I mean, how important is it for Rovers to score that try? It brings us back within biting distance, doesn't it?
And if Kyle Briggs can kick this, Rovers go in with a 4-point deficit as opposed to a 10-point deficit. And in all fairness, that's a try which, in my opinion, should not have been scored, Joe. As good a try as it was, but the Bulls just so slow.
But you could say that this is what we were missing last season, that ability for an individual just to pick something out of the bag there, and that's what Anthony Thackeray did.
So Kyle Briggs with a massive conversion in the context of this game. He's kicked it.
Yes, he's got it. That's a great conversion, that.
And with 2.5 minutes left in the first half here at Odsal, Rovers are back in this game, folks. It's Bradford Bulls 16, Featherstone Rovers 12.
Rovers fans have found the voices, by the sounds of it, to our left-hand side all of a sudden.
A massive 2 minutes in this context, this game now.
Tanning! Oh,
just
Michael
as I'm
Tanning.
saying, a massive 2 minutes in the context of this game. It's Anthony Thackeray, the try scorer, has come up with a howler from the kickoff. And John Sharp would be tearing his hair out if he had any, Joe.
He certainly would, yeah. Oh my goodness, how many times do you see that?
99 times out of 100, if not 999 times out of 1,000, they would take that all day. But again, here are Rovers. Instead of just working out from their own 20, they're having to defend a set in their own 20. Here's Matty Blythe, and Rovers now need to keep the Bulls out, Joe.
Certainly do.
O'Brien finds Luaki. Luaki moves it on. Through the hands it goes, over onto that far side, but good defence from Rovers. Pushing him towards the touchline, but it stays in the field of play. Here are the Bulls again. They're inside the Rovers 10. But good defence from Featherstone Rovers. Inside the last 60 seconds. The Bulls trying the power play. It's the last tackle. Where's Gaskell? Where's Gaskell for Rovers? Need to get onto Gaskell. There's another crossfield kick. That's too
far. That'll do.
That'll do for Rovers.
That was great defence from Rovers there, coming up with some really big hits on the Bradford players and forced Gaskell into doing that kick that just floated too far and went dead. So Rovers have brought it away from their own 20 metres.
Ian Hardman's on for Rovers. He takes that first drive in. And Rovers just need a set now in possession. Cording takes the second one. Here goes Baldwinson up against Luaki. That's a clash of two heavyweights if ever there was one. Craven finds Briggs.
I think Luaki's slightly heavier. Went in with a bit of a swinger there, did Luaki. There goes a hooter for half-time.
And what a first half it's been at Odsal.
Yeah, I think Kyle Briggs wasn't very happy at that swinging arm from Luaki there. They had a bit of a chest-to-chest sort of dialogue, I think, after the hooter went.
What a first half we've had at Odsal, though. It all started so well for the Rovers with a try from Danny Craven, which Kyle Briggs converted. Then the Bulls took control. Tries from Lee Gaskell, Amari Caro, which wasn't converted, and then Amari Caro again, that was, and then crucially Rovers with a try 2 minutes before half time, converted by Kyle Briggs. Joe, your thoughts on the first half?
Well, I think that Featherstone started off the best team, to be honest, and that came to fruition when we scored that first try. However, our discipline then cost us quite dearly, and we were giving penalties galore. George Stokes was penalising us for holding down, for dragging people into touch, and all that possession and field play that Bradford received enabled them to get them back into the game, and they built up a lead against us. But with that superb individual try by Anthony Thackeray late on in that first half, it's put Rovers right back in it and should make for a fantastic second half.
From a Bradford point of view, Joe, that last try that Rovers scored just before half-time, they'll be so disappointed with that. The kick from Thackeray. Yes, OK, the pitch slopes up, and I think Thackeray utilised that to perfection. But the Bulls players all just stood and watched it.
Yeah, they did. I think, like I say, I think they thought that it was going dead, but it just sort of floated through the air and perfectly just arrived in his arms to touch down. So it was a great try to watch, wasn't it?
Standout performances from Rovers?
I think you have to look at the half-back pairing. You know, Thackeray and Briggs seem to be playing really well, but also defensively. And I wouldn't want to pick any player out in defence because I think it's been a real team effort. And although we've let 16 points in, I think that if you looked at the percentage of possession that Bulls have had, I think you'll find that our defence have actually done quite well, and they've tried to boss Bradford a little bit in defence, haven't they? They've been going in hard. You can see the team spirit there. So pretty good first half, all in all.
An entertaining first half, that's for sure. The Bulls hold the slightest lead. Half time here at Odsal in the first round one of the Kingston Press Championship. It's Bradford Bulls 16, Featherstone Rovers 12. Welcome back to the second half here at Odsal. Bradford Bulls 16, Featherstone Rovers 12. Rovers are out. Out come now your Bradford Bulls, or the Bradford Bulls should I say. Rovers are going to get first use of the ball in this second half, Joe. Playing from left to right as you watch on the DVD. And I think the biggest issue that John Sharp's had to address at half time for me is discipline.
I think so, but having said that, in the last sort of 15 minutes, that half, we didn't give any penalties away, so maybe they resolved that on the field. Tim Spears might have had a word, and I think, you know, I think Tim Spears felt that we had been a bit hard done to in some of those penalties, and it was George Stokes' interpretation, I think, of what was happening, especially the two where we dragged them into touch. So
the next score in this game, Joe, is probably fair to say is crucial.
Certainly is, and when they went 16-6 ahead, I said that we needed to score next, and that's what we did just before half-time. So yes, it will be interesting to see how things go. Thackeray takes that well this time from the kick-off.
Finds Baldwinson with that first drive. Half-time scores elsewhere. Batley 12, Leigh 12. Halifax winning comfortably at Whitehaven by 24 points to 0. London only holding a 4-point lead over Oldham. Swinton 8, Dewsbury 12 and Workington 6, Sheffield 24. So some big scores around the grounds in the championship at the moment.
Yeah, a few tight contests out there, aren't there?
I think this year is probably going to be one of the most exciting championships we could have had for a long time. As Rovers have made a change. I didn't hear who would come on.
Daryl Griffin's come on for Jamie Cording.
So the Bulls pen back in their own 20-metre line on their first set of the second half. Adam O'Brien moves that ball out to Luaki. But good defence from Rovers on that occasion on Luaki. 3 men in the tackle very quickly. One of them being Mitch Achurch, and he looks a big bloke, does Mitch Achurch. So Rovers, that's a good defensive set, Joe, there. The ball's pinned back in there on 40. It's a kick over the top.
It is a nice deep kick there as well. It's took Scott Turner back almost to his try line to pick it up, hasn't it? And he's decided to take it up himself, up to the 20.
That's a great set for the Bulls, is that, and a great return from Turner as well.
And he's got the ball away.
And here are Rovers, another 10-15 metres made. They really should never have been made, Joe.
No, I don't know how he got the ball away there. Shouldn't have been allowed to get it away, but he did. And Channing, I think, has got the ball away there as well. So they're offloading it well at the moment of the Rovers.
Church plays the ball to Craven. Interesting, Danny Craven seems to be when Rovers are on the attack, Joe. Danny Craven seems to have moved in at acting halfback and freeing up. I'm not sure if John Davis is actually on the field at the minute or not, but Rovers utilising the option of Danny Craven, and that is a great kick. Stays just inside the field of play, and what a good chase from Rovers as well. Is John Davis on the pitch?
No.
That's good defence there from Rovers. But it is interesting the options that Rovers are taking going forward about Danny Craven going in that acting halfback. But on defence he's dropped back to fullback here. Here are the Bulls though. Rovers' defensive line seems to be much better at the moment. Again the Bulls forced to kick from deep. And Scott Turner takes this one on his head, and he's going to bring that ball back himself again. Shows to pass, but that's a great...
He's got away from Luaki though. Luaki went in for the big tackle there, but he broke free, did Turner, and he made an extra few metres.
20 metres made on the first two returns of the second half for Scott Turner. That's great play, and Rovers starting, well, second tackle, they're already on the 40. Here's Ian Hardman now.
I feel that Scott Turner's been a good signing for us this year. Come from Sheffield, hasn't he? And one of the players that left after Sheffield went full time. And I think he's a good player, Scott Turner. I think he'll be good for us out on that wing. And he does bring the ball in quite well and drive it up. He's a strong lad.
Daryl Griffin gets that ball up to the 40. Thacker with another step inside. He puts a high kick in this time.
Going all over.
Like? Oh, they made a real hash of it there. Two players going for the same ball. And Bradford so lucky, Joe, to get away with that one. But another outstanding kick there from Thackeray.
Certainly was. Thackeray with a delightful little sidestep, wasn't it? Went forward another 5 metres and put a massive kick high up into the air, and Bradford didn't deal with that well at all there. I think Mitch Achurch was sniffing after it, but just couldn't get there in time.
Bradford don't appear to be happy with the ball that they've got at the moment.
And so we're taking a bit of a while to take this drop out. Ref's just called time on, back on again.
There is a drop out, gets to halfway, taken by Craven. Craven finds Daryl Griffin. Griffin gets Rovers up to the 40, and Rovers have got a full set in the Bradford 40. One thing I noticed on that play, Joe, that look how far the referee's taking him back. He knows the Bulls may stand in front, So he's taking them back over 10 metres, so if they do, they're still onside.
Good spot there, yeah, he is, isn't he? He's taking him back about 12.
Thackeray finds Ian Hardman now. Hardman moves it on to Channing. Still going, Channing.
Oh, Channing!
Tries to offload, but that is outstanding play from the Bulls.
Yeah, he was having a bit of a tussle with Pertel, weren't he? And Channing decided to offload. He was looking for that player, but unfortunately it went straight into Bradford hands.
Outstanding play from the Bulls there to read the offload superbly and cut out what looked a dangerous Rovers attack.
It did, yeah. I'd have hoped that we'd have had something better from the end of that one, to be honest.
Here are the Bulls then on halfway. That's a good drive. And the Bulls up to the Rovers 40. It's the last tackle now. A drilled for the touchline. It's sensible play from the Bulls, finding touch, turning Rovers round. They're going to look to force a mistake from deep early in the second half.
Yeah, they've kicked there. The scrum's just short of the 20-metre line, isn't it? And they've gone for sort of position rather than possession there, haven't they?
I've never been to a rugby ground before where they sell pizza.
It's a good idea. I did try to get a coffee, but the queue was too long. So, but yeah, need pizza at Fev.
Here are Rovers then from the base that scrum, they're starting on their own 20. Baldwinson, that's a good drive from Baldwinson. Rovers up to the 30 now. Craven moves that ball inside to Griffin. Rovers making 10-12 metres every drive at the moment, Joan. It's slow progress, but they're making the progress, aren't they?
Slow and steady, yeah.
And that's good play from Mitch A. Church. And Rovers are just short of halfway on the last tackle now. Thackeray finds Tim Spears. Channing puts a kick through.
Oops.
Thackeray realised he was offside, so slowed up.
Pulled
and then
back.
took a slip.
Yeah, he was just slightly in front of Channing when he took that kick, and I think George Stokes told him he was offside, and he just had to pull back and pull him back, so he fell backwards, didn't he?
Sensible play from Thackeray to realise that he was offside, though.
Yeah, we don't want penalties.
I don't think we've seen a penalty in the second half.
No, not yet. There's time.
8 minutes gone in the second half, coming up to 9 minutes. It's still Bradford Bulls 16, Featherstone Rovers 12. Rovers with the first and last tries of that first half. And there's a kick. Taken easily by Craven. But that's great defence. And Ash Handley not able to really get anywhere.
Penalty, there you go.
And there's a penalty. I said we're doing well, 9 minutes without a penalty.
Right, it's a penalty to Featherstone, so there you go. Marker's not standing square.
And Danny Craven is the touch finder, and he gets Rovers up to halfway. So Rovers have another 6 tackles in the Bulls half here. And we're just coming up to 10 minutes gone. A great opportunity here. Here's Jordan Baldwinson now. Danny Craven waits. He'll move the ball out right. Thackeray finds Tim Spears.
He's lost the ball. That's
The ball's
Tim
come
Spears.
loose. What's the referee going to say? I'm not quite. Then the Bulls knock on as well. I'm not quite sure. There would have been an advantage there anyway. It had gone fully almost 10-15 metres towards the Bulls line. So I'm not quite sure how he could have called that an advantage.
Well, I guess he was waiting to see if the next play forward, whether they took it over that advantage line, but it wasn't going to happen. They knocked on, and refs brought them back for the original infringement where Tim Spears lost the ball, and it's a scrum on the Bradford 40.
Lee Gaskell feeds that scrum with 10 minutes gone in the second half. It's still Bradford Bulls 16, Featherstone Rovers 12 here at Odsall. O'Brien moves that ball out to that left-hand edge. Sidlow gets away from one and is able to offload. O'Brien again. And the Bulls are up to their 40. It's a knock on. That's looking, Rovers are doing well in the start of the second half, Joe. They're not necessarily pressuring the Bradford line, but they're doing well in defence and they are getting some territory in the Bulls' half.
Yeah, they are, and it's a matter, it's just being patient, isn't it, and biding our time, getting the bulk of the possession and hopefully getting up the right end of the field so that we can start pressing on that Bradford line.
So it is going to be a scrum down head and feet to Rovers on the ball, on their own 40. Thackeray moves that ball on to Channing. Crave, oh, what a hit! That is a real cruncher by Jay Pitts. And the ball suddenly, Joe, look like they've had a rocket.
Yeah, it's nothing like a big hit to get a team fired up, is there? And the second one that came in was fairly big, but it's up to Featherstone to respond well to that now, isn't it? That's a good kick.
Fantastic kick. That's held up superbly. And Rovers, what a chase as well.
Need to get off him now, don't give a penalty away.
It's Talapapa with the chase.
What we need here is just to stay sensible and not give any penalties away.
What a kick that was from Briggs and what a chase from Talapapa. And the Bulls have had 3 tackles and still in their own 20.
It's important we get clear the ruck. It's getting a bit tasty out there.
That big hit from Bradford on Featherstone seems to have lit a firework in this one. That's a kick from deep.
Oh.
Danny Craven not able to take it. The Bulls are going to get a full set in the Rovers 30. You can tell around what the Bulls fans thought of that one all around us.
Well, how important is that mistake? What an excellent set of defence by Featherstone there. Kept Bulls in their own sort of 10-15 metres. They came up with a massive kick on the last, and that mistake there, it must break the hearts of the Rovers defence who've done so well up until that point, and we find ourselves under pressure now, 30 metres away from Bradford, pressing 30 metres away from our own line.
We're going to see the battering ram on shortly.
And they're in.
Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding, Joe. Simple as that, from the base of the scrum, down that right-hand edge. Rovers defence sucked in. And I do believe that might be a hat-trick for Amari Caro, if it is Caro that scored it.
I'd say that actually it wasn't that outstanding from the Bulls, it was from the blind side of the scrum. I'd say that was actually poor defence. I mean, why did Amari Caro have all that space there to run? Something had gone wrong with the defensive set from that scrum there, I'd say.
We've got 14 minutes into the second half here at Odsal. We said the first try was crucial. It's gone to the Bulls. It's a hat-trick for Amari Caro. It's Bradford Bulls 20, Featherstone Rovers 12. And how big a kick is this for Danny Addy?
Yeah, you didn't ever have to wear that then, did you? Because you kept your head warm.
Yeah, so disappointing that to go from such a great defensive set, like I say, to the mistake. And at the time I said, how important would that mistake be? And it was. It's been crucial, hasn't it, in allowing Bradford to extend that lead.
A massive kick coming up here from Danny Addy.
It's got
it. It's successful. The Bulls hold a 10-point lead with 15 minutes gone in the second half. Bradford Bulls 22, Featherstone Rovers 12. Big set here for Rovers now, Joe. Need to pin the Bulls down, try and force a mistake, get some territory and possession in the Bulls' half.
Certainly is, yeah, and it's and like we always say, after a try like that, it depends on how we can come back from this. And they
that's a howler!
As I said, how many times do you see that?
That is absolutely shocking from the Bulls. I'm sorry, but we've said it time and time again, Joe, how important it is when you score a try to complete your next set. That is crucial, and they didn't even get a tackle in, dropping the ball with no pressure at all, and now Rovers have a chance to hit straight back.
And we did exactly the same as that in the first half, didn't we? You know, it's amazing how concentration seems to go after scoring a try.
Rovers then attacking this Bulls line, looking to hit back straight away. Bostock's back on for Rovers as well.
Oh no!
Down that left.
Oh, no.
But the Bulls come up with the ball.
Ian Hardman there with a pass that just wasn't on at all, was it?
Not at all, and the Bulls in possession 25 metres out from their own line. Rovers failed to capitalise on the opportunity created. Well, Brian has a scoot, but quickly seen, and that gap is quickly closed. The Bulls have got running from Acton half. It's 2 drives from Acton half.
That was good defence there, though. We pushed them back quite a few yards.
The battering ram of Andy Bostock is back on. There's the kick from halfway.
Oh.
Danny Craven takes that one.
I weren't confident with Danny Craven there. He was slipping and sliding all over the place before he took that high ball, but he just about took it. We've got a double substitution going on here. Hardman and Baldwinson coming off. Davis and Ormondroyd coming on.
So is that going to be John Davis back in at in half back? Yes, it is. Finds Jack Ormondroyd straight away, and that's a good half break from Ormondroyd.
That's what we like to see from Ormondroyd, isn't it? His long legs getting us up that field.
A Church gets Rovers over halfway. Here's Thackeray now, drop off pass to Ormondroyd again. Davies again. Thackeray. He'll put a kick back in field.
That's a good kick.
That's bounced.
Great defence as well. Great chase from the kick.
Superb play all around there from Bradford Bulls and Featherstone Rovers.
Bradford don't like it. They're having a bit of a...
Once again, it was the kick wreaking havoc from Anthony Thackeray, Joe. Back in field, the Bulls let it bounce. In the end, the Bulls knocked it dead.
Nobody wanted it, did they? Thackeray put that up in the air, and there were 3 Bulls players around it, and they just all stood and watched it bounce.
That's the second time they've done that. The first time Rovers scored off it. The second time Rovers have got a drop out from it.
Yeah. George Stokes just having a word with the Bulls player there, and
it's Danny Addy that he's speaking to.
Yeah.
Here's a drop out. Briggs takes it, finds Jack Ormondroyd. Look at that return from Jack Ormondroyd.
Got to be brave to take those up, hadn't you? The Bulls players were waiting for him.
It's having another great game with Jack Ormondroyd, isn't it, Joe?
Certainly is, yeah.
Davies now. Here's Ormondroyd again. Moves the ball on this time to Thackeray. Away from one. Still going Thackeray. Well wrapped up in the end.
Causing him all sorts of problems is Anthony Thackeray at the moment.
Here's Tim Spears. Rovers 10 metres out, centre field. Still got a couple of tackles left in the bag. Davies.
A bit of a mix-up in...
yes, it was.
Disappointing end to that set of 6 there. A little bit of a mix-up in attack.
It was actually obstruction.
Yeah.
So Rovers penalised for obstruction there.
Did. He just went round the back of their own player, and it's ended up in a penalty.
And so the Bulls have a relieving set. And that's a good drive from Dale Ferguson. And the Bulls are on halfway.
That's good defence.
Here at Bradford now, then it's Adam
That's a very flat
away.
pass.
Sidlow spins out to one tackle.
Need to stop him offloading.
But good defence in the end, John Davies. A quick play of the ball.
Forward
That was
pass.
forward a
Surely
mile.
a forward pass.
No, that was only forward about 5 yards, I
know,
think.
it was massively forward, so...
An obstruction at one end prevents a try. A forward pass that was about 5 yards prevents a try at the other end. It's end-to-end stuff, is this at the minute, Joe?
Certainly is. It's a good game, isn't it? Just pausing now while Bradford players down on the floor.
We've got 20 minutes left here at Odsal Stadium. Bradford Bulls hold the lead by 22 points to 12. Just the one try in the second half to the Bulls. And that was a hat-trick try for Amari Caro, which Danny Addy converted to stretch that lead out to 10 points. A very disappointing try from Rovers' point of view from the base of the scrum. Down that short blind side, and it was all too easy for Amari Caro. Here are Rovers now, Talapapa. Got the full length of the field to go, but the way this game's going, Joe, you wouldn't bet against Rovers doing it.
I don't know. Talapapa must have made about 10 metres there with two Bradford players, but he's knocked on, unfortunately. He's not very happy with the referee's decision. And I must admit, Talapapa was trying to go forward there with two Bradford players around him, and the ball's come free. It has to... I don't know. In those situations, I always wonder if there was a hand in that that the referee can't see, because otherwise
can't see from this far back. To be fair,
you can't see from this far back. You can't make any decision on it, can you? But
the referees,
don't know. I always find them a bit puzzling. Those.
The referees ruled it as a knock on either way. The Bulls again trying down that short side, where they had the success for their first try of this second half. And the 15 metres out now, centre field.
Tackle, that was a great tackle by Channing.
That is a good tackle.
Came up well, read the play well, and put a good tackle in.
O'Brien is going to have a scoot. Rovers very slow to react to that, but just got there.
Channing and Davis were in there.
There's an early kick.
That's gone too far.
Dead touch and goal, so Rovers
Come on, take a quick tap. Come on. Scott Turner, is it with that?
Good 10 metres made by Scott Turner there. And now another good 10 metres made. Here's A-Church. Made that 15 metres, and within two tackles, Joe, Rovers are 5 metres shy of halfway.
Yeah.
Again. He's running the show at the minute for Rovers. In terms of Rovers, it's Anthony Thackeray. Davies finds Bostock. Not able to make any yards or an offload on that occasion. Davies again. Here's Kyle Briggs. Tries to get through. Does Kyle Briggs?
That's a great offload, is that?
There's Bradley tagged now. Briggs puts a kick through. Nobody wants it again. Bradford once again. In the end, it's Lee Gaskell who did pick it up.
And he's lost it now, so it's play to Featherstone.
Here's
Michael Channing.
Channing, sorry. Rovers are going to have 6 tackles inside the Bulls 20 here, Joe.
Picked it up well, did Gaskell there, but he lost it as he went forward. So we've got another 6, like you say, in our own 10 in Bradford's own 10 metres.
It was a great effort from Gaskell to cut that try out in the end, because it was a great kick from Briggs. Thackeray offloads to Bostock. Bostock looking for the offload as he always does. has lost the ball.
Hey, we don't want to hear your voice.
So it's going to be a scrum down. It's going to be a scrum down, head and feet to the Bulls on their own 10-metre area, but they've got another player down injured. 15 minutes left here at Odsal. Bradford Bulls holding a 22 points to 12 lead at the moment. What do Rovers have to do differently, Joe, to try and unlock this Bradford
Keep
door?
hold of the ball would be good in our own 10 metres and not try the offload, I think would be what we need to do. Just play sensibly. You know, 10 points in it, 15 minutes remaining.
No, it's not impossible, is it, by any stretch of the imagination?
That was quite a dangerous pass out there. Did well to take it.
Chris Welland did very well to take that pass. It was behind him. So the Bulls, it's Adam Sidlow. He's had a wow of a game for the Bulls. It's Adam Sidlow today.
I think he's been their standout player as Sidlow. He's made some great breaks, hasn't he? And
off goes O'Brien. But good defence. And a penalty is conceded. Yeah. Tim Spears, it was with a great tackle, but
just held on that little bit too long. And yeah, it's just exactly what Featherstone didn't want. It's the wrong end of the field for us, is this?
But just going back to Adam Sidlow, he's been superb for the Bulls this afternoon.
He has. He's managed to make some clear breaks, hasn't he? And I think all he needed was some better support from Bradford, and they'd have had a few more tries than they already have.
So the Bulls inside the Rovers 20 now.
Addy with some fantastic footwork there, wasn't it?
The Bulls are on the Rovers 10. Another try here. Fancy this could be over. Jay Pitts is going for the line. As long as it's only 10 points, Rovers still with a shout. If Bradford score again, I fancy that could be it.
Yeah. That was great defence by
Talapapa.
Last tackle. Going over to the left-hand side. This is anybody's. Channing's taken it well, though.
Good take from Michael Channing. Rovers have got the length of the field to go. The Bradford defence is looking strong at the minute, Joe. They're struggling to get through at the moment.
Yeah, but good defence from Featherstone. You have to give all credit to them there. Bradford were throwing everything at them, weren't they? And they've come away with the ball, so it's all good, is that?
Here are Rovers and looking to try and break out of their own 40. They're on the 40-metre line. An early kick from Danny Craven. Here's a Caro for the Bulls. Here's another player who's had a fine game.
Great
for
chase, great
Look
chase.
Look at that chase. Pushed 3 players, pushed him back fully 10 metres.
And do you know what, Ben? This is something that we've seen in pre-season, isn't it? And they're hunting in packs, the Featherstone Rovers. You know, the team are hunting in packs, 2s and 3s every time. And as we see now, pushing the attack back. And this is certainly something that we've seen since John Sharp's come to the club.
It is indeed, and they do it so well. When they get 2 players in the tackle, you get them driving back, and you see almost the mentality that says as soon as the pushback starts, you see the 3rd player coming in, adding the weight to it.
And for a part-time club, that's not bad, is it, at all? You know, I mean, we have to remember that these are part-time players. And they must have been working really hard in training to have that energy and strength.
That is an outstanding kick from Bradford. Held up just on the try line, and Scott Turner had to return.
Oh, we've lost the ball there.
Morganson's back on.
Talapapa holds his hand up there. He's lost the ball, and Bradford in a really dangerous position now.
A try here and the game will be over. The Bulls are looking for that killer try. Got 11 and a half minutes left here. Gaskell, he's dangerous.
Nobody there though is looking to offload.
That's disappointing for the Bulls in the sense that there was nobody on the shoulder of Lee Gaskell there.
Armand Roy penalised there but Gaskell was moving off the mark. You see, again, I sometimes think refs get a bit kidded by these things. For me, Gaskell were moving off the mark and making it very difficult for Armand Roy to clear the ruck.
The ball's worked out to that right-hand side, though. Good defence from Rovers.
They've lost the ball.
That's superb defence from Rovers. Kyle Briggs. Kyle Briggs. You go on, Joe.
Kyle Briggs came up with the ball there.
Superb alert play from Kyle Briggs. Here's Michael Channing now.
Looks like Ian Hardman's going to come back on the pitch.
Here is Kyle Briggs again.
I don't think he wanted that ball then, didn't Kyle
Not
Briggs?
particularly. He took it standing, didn't he?
No.
Danny Craven's gone in acting half-back again for Rovers. John Davis is coming off now. And Ian Hardman comes off.
On.
There's a kick from Thackeray again. This time it's great positioning from the Bulls fullback, Richie Mathers.
Would have been better to have a better positioned kick, I think, yeah.
And now the Bulls with a chance to work out from their own half. With just under 10 minutes left here at Odsal Stadium. Time is running out for Rovers. A 10-point deficit is Bradford Bulls 22, Featherstone Rovers 12. Only the one try in the second half that's gone to Amara Caro. The hat-trick try from the two he scored in the first half. That ball has worked out to that right-hand side. That's Chris Wellham now. It's a good break from Chris Wellham.
It's good play from the Bulls, that, wasn't it? Quite strong running from Wellham in the end. Got pulled down.
Here's the last tackle now. A dink over the top. Scott Turner able to take that easily enough. I'm sorry, Joe, but for me that was the wrong option for Bradford there.
It was a bit of a poor choice, wasn't it, that?
Either poor choice or poor execution. I'm not sure which, but either way, Rovers come up with the ball, and that could have been dangerous. Spears. That's good play from Rovers, moving the ball out wide. Here's Spears again. It's almost an unsung hero, Tim Spears. The amount of work he does, you don't always notice it, do you?
He's a workhorse, is Tim Spears. Every match,
that's
he's 100%.
Fantastic kick from Danny Craven. And look at that chase as well. That is absolutely superb play from Rovers. And the Bulls once again starting in their own 20. But for Rovers, Joe, time's running out.
It is.
Here are the Bulls then. O'Brien waits. Moves that ball inside. Another change made for Bradford there. Sidlow plays the ball. And it's another early kick.
It's going for the... I think it's going to go dead though, so Ash Handley picks it up and throws it up to Danny Craven, who'll take the tap on the 20.
Ash Handley, I think, was trying for the 40-20 there, maybe got the angle wrong. Here are Rovers now, it's Bradley Tagg. Jordan Baldwinson. Here's Ian Hardman now. Good defence from the Bulls now. I think they're just solid.
Seeing the game out, aren't they?
Solid line of defence, moving up as a unit, seeing the game out, like you say. Thackeray moves it out to Talapapa. Talapapa puts
Channing.
the kick in fit. Channing, sorry. Still going, Channing.
Don't forget to the kick man of the week at the Bradford Balls pages on Twitter.
Richie Mathers took that ball.
The kick man of the week will be the touchdown bar after the full-time hooter to accept his presentation and talk about the match this afternoon. So keep voting on Twitter.
Some interesting scores around the ground. Lee holding a 6-point lead at Batley. Lee, of course, in turmoil after the withdrawal of the resignation, of Paul Rowley.
It's a penalty.
A penalty goes to the Bulls.
Tried to rip the ball out there, but there were 2 or 3 people in the tackle. You can't do that, can you? So I think it's just a sign of us getting quite desperate with 5 minutes left.
Over 4,500 here at Odsall this afternoon. That's a great attendance for the opening round of the new season, Joe.
Certainly is.
And so here are the Bulls now, just shy of their own 20-metre area. In fact, Rovers 20, sorry. In fact, they're on the Rovers 20. And I sound daft, Joe, but if you're the Bulls, would you be thinking about a one-pointer?
I think they might go for the try, to be honest.
Here's Matty Blythe. If he gets to the last, though, the Bulls maybe as well to think about a one-pointer. Stretch the lead out to 13 points. It's a kick through, and Ash Hanley.
I think the only thing is with one-pointers the ground's pretty good here, to be honest, but you know, when you go for a one-pointer, it does have a tendency to stick in the mud. It's easier on a firmer, drier ground, isn't it? And I think they're feeling quite comfortable with 4 minutes left that that we're not going to score twice. But you never know.
You never know in Rugby League. Just ask Batley last year.
Yeah, we're going to say ask Sean Ainscough. That's surely a penalty to Featherstone.
Yeah.
Scott Turner rubbing.
Ask Sean Ainscough. We're how many points down with 7 minutes to go back home to Batley, and we'll still come out with a win.
That's true, and we just got a penalty here. Scott Turner perhaps shouldn't have rubbed his head there after, was it Jay Pitts, I think, after he'd given the penalty away. Silly penalty to give away there for Bradford, isn't it?
It is indeed. I mean, the defensive line they were looking good defensively. Rovers struggling to get through the defensive line of Bradford, to be fair.
Absolutely no need to hold the player down like that.
And now Rovers are in the Bradford 40. Thackeray finds Hardman. Hardman steps inside. They're inside the Bradford 30. They've got 5 tackles in hand, Joe. Here's Thackeray now. Tim Spears. Oof. That could have been...
I think George Stokes has deemed it was over on his chest, but it looks a bit high, didn't it?
Could have been gone either way. I think that's one each way because Bradford had one earlier on. Bradford had one earlier on.
Oh, he's lost the ball.
And Rovers lose possession. Bradford had one in the earlier on in the match where the referee said it was shoulder, where it was a bit dubious.
Yeah, there's been a few there, hasn't there, where George Stokes has said it's been shoulder height. So it's been a generally good-natured game, really, hasn't it?
It has, to be fair. I mean, it's been an entertaining game as well.
It has.
Yeah. We said it to Joe a couple of minutes ago how big a game Adam Sidlow has had for the Bulls. He is named the Bradford man of the match, and in my opinion, rightly so. And Joe, now they've announced the Bulls man of the match. Who is the Rovers TV man of the match this afternoon?
Well, Rovers have just got possession back here. While I just have a think about who the man of the match is.
Here's Tim Spears.
I mean, in terms of a man of the match for Featherstone Rovers, it's been a great team effort. That is one thing that I would definitely say is it's been an absolutely fantastic team effort. I think John Sharp. That's a penalty to Featherstone.
Here's Bradley Tagg from the quick tap, and Rovers have got 10 tackles, I wish. 5 tackles. 5 tackles in the Bradford 10, that's what I meant to say, but the ball's moved across the line. The referee's happy enough that Rovers didn't knock on, it was just a loose pass. Ash Hanley plays the ball to Craven, here's Thackeray, shows it once. Here's Jack Ormondroyd, Rovers 10 metres out centre field underneath the sticks.
Would be nice to get a late try, wouldn't it?
Good defence from Bradford Bulls though, swarming round the Rovers. What a take again.
Yeah, it was offside, was Anthony Thackeray there.
It was only about 3 yards offside there, so we also got a break in play for the penalty, Joe, man of the match.
So as I was saying, I just think it's been an absolutely, even though we're going to be on the losing side, it's been a great team performance. I think we've done really well. It was always going to be tough coming here to Bradford. I think I've been really pleased with the defence, the way that we've got 2 or 3 men in on defence and at times boss Bradford and push them back. However, I think that my man of the match will go to the scrum half, Anthony Thackeray, because he's put some delightful kicks in. I'd say close seconds would be, I think the other people that should have a shout out for great game is Kyle Briggs and also Mitch Achurch when he was on the field.
Indeed. So Anthony Thackeray is the Rovers TV man of the match. I'm sure many Rovers fans who are here will agree. And the referee's called time off.
We've got a fight!
I didn't see what, to be fair, I didn't see what happened to start it. I
think it's just end of the game's celebratory brawl. No, I think actually you can't call it a brawl, it's more a push and shove between
handbags at 10
26
paces.
Men, yeah.
Handbags at 10 paces.
I didn't see any fists going there, it was just it'd be interesting to see what Mr. Stokes does with this with 10 seconds remaining.
Just whilst the referee is sorting this all out. Teams are separated now. Mr. Stokes is sending Rovers away. He's in discussion with his touch judges now.
What we don't want is one of these going to a disciplinary panel, so I'm hoping that there weren't any punches thrown in there.
Difficult to see from all the way back here.
It is.
It started off so well for Rovers this afternoon though, with the first try of the season for Danny Craven, which Kyle Briggs converted. Then the Bulls took over 2 tries in the first half from Amari Caro and 1 from Danny Addy. 2 out of the 3 converted. Gave the Bulls a 16-6 lead, and then just before half-time, Anthony Thackeray with a delightful chip over the top and capitalised on it to make it 16-12. Only the 1 try in the second half, rather surprisingly. The hat-trick try for Amari Caro. Rovers, to be fair, have struggled to break the Bulls down in the second half, Joe. As the penalty goes to
after lots of deliberation,
goes to Bradford way.
Kyle Briggs and I think it was Danny Addy having a talking to, and Bradford just kick it into touch with 7 seconds remaining. Penalty eventually to Bradford. Just going back to what you were talking about, that only try of the second half there, as the full-time hooter goes. That only try of the second half there, I think that must be the most disappointing aspect for John Sharp to look at when he reviews, was our defensive effort on that try, where you know, we had the scrum. It was a scrum from Danny Craven's mistake after a fantastic defensive effort by the Featherstone Rovers players. And then the ensuing scrum, we just did not defend very well at all. And they've ended up scoring that try. And for me, that was the crucial try. If we could have kept it to 16-12, I feel that we may have been able to win this game.
Been a real war of attrition in the second half out there this afternoon. We said at the start of the match, Joe, is to be a battle of the halfbacks. I think that's where the game was probably won, in all fairness. Thackeray was outstanding for Rovers, but Lee Gaskell in particular for Bradford, he ran the show for them today.
I think he did. I think especially in the first half, it was quieter in the second half, but certainly in the first half, when Bradford were getting near our line, he was putting some creativity in there, wasn't he? But I think it'd be interesting to hear John Sharp's post-match reaction and how he felt the game went, and whether he feels the same as us. To me, I think that was a pretty good performance, even though we've ended up coming out losers.
Indeed, standout performances from Rovers. We mentioned Anthony Thackeray in the halves. It's been a real workman-like performance, to be fair, for Rovers. Tim Spears getting through his usual amount of hard work as well. But in the end, Rovers just didn't quite have enough. Thanks for your company this afternoon, Joe.
No problem.
We'll see you next week at
Batley
at home next week, folks. Get yourself down to the big fellas. It's defeated the start of the season for Rovers, though. The full-time score here at the Providence Stadium in Odsall. It's Bradford Bulls 22, Featherstone Rovers 12. Rovers captain Tim Spears, Bradford 22, Rovers 12, a disappointing start.
Yeah, very much so. I think the boys rocked up today and had a real dig. Obviously something we've been training very hard for a few months now, and just disappointed that, despite our best endeavours, we would just probably let ourselves down a couple of crucial moments and lost a game that, to be fair, they probably weren't that much in, to be honest.
Got a perfect start with a try in the opening few minutes from Danny Craven, but then Bradford seemed to take control on the back of poor discipline as well.
We did, that's right. We knew if we got an opportunity we'd score, and obviously we proved that with the play that we'd executed and practiced throughout the week, but then unfortunately they're a quality team, and one bloke knocks off for one play and they hit back, and they had a spell and they made the most of it, so it put us a little bit behind. But as I say, I can't knock the effort or application or attitude of the boys to roll our sleeves up and claw our way back into the game, but I just think at some crucial moments in the game we let ourselves down with a bit of execution.
The turning points again came in the second half off the back of a really, really strong defensive set, pinning the balls back in their own 20, a kick from deep, which Danny Craven couldn't take, and then that swung the game from there.
Yeah, these are the fine margins and a couple of things, that probably just didn't quite go our way today that I talk about, and that's rugby league, isn't it? Looking at the game, there wasn't that much in it, and I think just a couple of crucial points we let the Bradford back in, and the middle boys, fair play, ripped in and done a great job defensively, but then on the back of net they've got to go and defend again then, so it's tough, and as I say, you've got to recognise where you are in the year. It's only early, but at the same time, I'm not using that as an excuse. We're a disappointed bunch today.
A lot of new faces in the squad this year after last year. The halfbacks have been particularly impressive today, and Danny Craven at fullback as well.
Yeah, three quality players, three outstanding players. And I think as the fields dry up, they'll, today weren't the best conditions. I think those two will just get better and better, and as they get used to playing together as well. Excited to play outside them, to be honest, and I think they make your job as a back rower or a centre quite easy because they're such good players.
Tough challenge next week at home to Batley. Batley having turned Lee over today, so that's a different challenge altogether.
Yeah, I suppose that's one thing to take away from today, isn't it, that Lee got beat, but yeah, they're a good team at Batley, and we know from when we've played in the past, thinking that game last year when we beat them in the dying seconds, I don't think people will forget it, and it probably epitomised just how close games are between Featherstone and Batley, and they're going to come to our ground full of confidence and obviously in good form, having knocked Lee off. So we're under no illusions about the task in hand there. It's going to be difficult, as it is every week in the Championship. If you don't prepare and don't play well, you get beat, as we found out today.
Where do you see the biggest threats to Rovers' top four chances coming this season?
I think a lot of people are talking about your established clubs, Bradford, Lee, etc., favourites. But at the same time, I think we showed enough today to say that on another day, if we'd have got our game where it needed to be, we'd have been in with a good shout at knocking Bradford off. Batley have beat Lee, so I think rather than it being certain individual clubs, I think the challenge is the Championship itself in terms of if you don't turn up, if you don't prepare well, there's not a massive amount between clubs really, and I think, as I say, if you don't turn up and don't prepare, you get beat. So the challenge is consistency of effort and applying yourself week in, week out, probably managing injuries whenever they come as well, because as I say, every game's a tough game, and if you don't play well, you get beat.
How big a boost is it today to having the 3 lads from Leeds in? Obviously, Jordan from last year, but then Mitch Church and Ash Hanley as well.
Yeah, they all came in and did a good job, as I knew they would do. The good fellas, and I think our squad's a good squad, but it probably is not the biggest. And so, as and when injuries bite, or we need topping up, then having that option there is it can only stand us in good stead through the year. And they came in and did the job that I thought they would do, which was a very good one.
Tim, thanks for your time.
Anytime, mate.
John Sharp, Bradford 22, Featherstone over 12. Your thoughts on today's performance, please?
Mixed emotions, really. I thought we had a real good dig. I thought we showed lots of determination and we were battling away, but a couple of things that I thought we made it harder for ourselves. Certainly completion rate and execution, really. I think we made too many errors. You can't come to the team that finished in second place last year and full of full-time players and come up with that many errors, and it hurt us eventually. I mean, it was always going to be an energy battle. I thought we acquitted ourselves really well. We threw the challenge at them, but just made it really hard by unforced errors, not catching balls on the full from kicks downfield when the opposition are right on their own line. A big turning points in the game. Maybe conceding a couple of tries from kicks that we should certainly deal with. But on the flip side, it took tries to come from last plays and kicks. So we need to work on that. But energy-wise, I thought we just made it too difficult for ourselves with unforced errors. And I got an issue with a penalty count, 11-4 penalty count, which, coupled with the errors that we made, it makes it a really difficult day for you.
We had a perfect start, really, for Rovers in the opening few minutes. Danny Craven going out for the try, but then the balls hit back, and then from on in that first half until the end, Bradford almost dominated that first half.
Yeah, they almost dominated, but they didn't. But every time we got good field position, I thought we looked really, really dangerous, but we just couldn't sustain enough pressure. Like I said, unforced errors and not completing sets we ended up with a tired offensive line attacking a team that has defensively looked fresh. So the penalty count hurt us badly. Need to look at that. Need to look at how we contributed to that count. We also need to look at the errors that we made.
The game breaker came in the second half with the try for Bradford, a long kick downfield. Had a really good defensive set in the Bradford 20. Then Danny Craven couldn't take that kick on the full, and that's won the game for the Bulls. Absolutely,
a killer really. We got them under the pump. I think they kicked inside the 30. We've been really aggressive with our hitting as well, and looked like the tide had been swinging back towards us, and all of a sudden we're catching the ball 30 out and we come up with an error off that kick and they go and score down a short side. So, momentum certainly swung their way from that play, but, we contributed to our own demise with the errors that we made.
How do you rate the performances of the 3 lads from Leeds, Jordan Baldwinston, Ash Hanley and Mitch Church?
I thought Church was great. I thought his carries was really good. He got plenty of game time. I know what Baldwinson can do anyway, and I thought he just carried on from where he left off last year. And Ash Hanley carried the ball really well for us. He looked strong when in contact, and positionally he was really good. So I was pleased with the Leeds boys' efforts.
How much do you think will be utilised in the dual registrations here? We've got a thin squad in some areas, but a good squad in others.
Yeah, we've got a thin squad regarding numbers because, we're not a big salary capped spend team. We are where we are because of budgets, but what we have got is a club, and working with a club that have got players that'll be really useful to us when we pick injuries up.
Next week we're back at the Big Fella Stadium, first home match against Batley. Batley, of course, have turned Lee over today by 2 points, so that's going to be a really tough challenge for us.
Oh, absolutely. John Kearney, the Batley coach, has a reputation for getting his teams ready for the big games, and I've absolutely no doubt John would have done a great job with his team this week and caught Lee when maybe there might be a little bit of strife in their camp, but still going to play really well to beat a really good team like Lee.
What sort of challenges can we expect next week from Batley?
I think confidence and energy, but it's more about us and about us cutting down on errors, being a little bit more ruthless with the ball, tidying up what we do around the ruck and probably changing some things with regards to the feel that we get for the referee and how he's going to referee that game.
John, thanks for your time.